All right, welcome back to another Bloomburrow Premier Draft. Today we're starting out with Whiskervale Forerunner. I wouldn't be surprised, and in fact, I'm pretty sure that Intrepid Rabbit has a higher win rate on 17 lands than the Forerunner, but let's be real here. We're taking the rare. The rest of this pack is pretty medium. I think the Rabbit's the next best card, and there's Mentor, Longstock Brawl, but nothing else too exciting, so let's take the rare and go from there. Now we could take an Intrepid Rabbit because it goes great with Whiskervale Forerunner, triggering your Valiant. There's also Plume-Creed Mentor, which is interesting. Pretty good combo here. Don't know if I necessarily want to commit to blue-white, though, this early. Wick is another consideration, but I think Wick is actually just worse than Intrepid Rabbit in 99% of scenarios, and staying on color is pretty valuable here. Okay, third pick, the white has dried up. Just to say the only white cards are not ones I want to put in my deck. It's true that the Provisioner does curve out well with the Forerunner, but you don't put bad cards to make your good cards good. That's Magic 101. So instead, I think we're going to look at one of these red cards. Obviously, the Forerunner makes a lot of sense in the mouse deck, so does the Intrepid Rabbit. So the question is, Blooming Blast, Teapot Slinger, Raccoon Rallier, or Roughshod Duo. Could also take Baker's Bane Duo and look to be the Rabbit deck. But it does feel like maybe this is the signal to go into red here. I mean, Baker's Bane Duo, probably a better card than all 5 of these red cards. I don't know. I want to play the mouse deck. I don't get to draft it as often. It doesn't always come together. So I think I'll take the Blast and then try to wheel one of these 4 creatures, because it's very unlikely that there's 4 other red drafters who want mediocre creatures. This pack has Steampath Charger, Bravekin Duo, Cutthroat, Root Weaver. Kind of do wish I just took the green card. Could follow it up with the Root Weaver. Could also take Seasoned Warren Guard. It's okay here. Goes well with Intrepid Rabbit. It works with Forerunner in the sense that it is a creature card with mana value 3 or less that you can go get. I don't think I'm going to miss any of these like super filler red or white creatures, so I think I will take the Warren Guard. I think this card's not ultra powerful, but it's a 1-drop, so the floor is like really, really high in the sense that when you just play this on 1, it's going to be good a huge percentage of the time. So for this pick, I think we'll just grab another Intrepid Rabbit over Warren Elder. Probably the best common in the set, so a pretty easy pickup here. Does seem like the Rabbit deck is, at least the white half of it is open. I get past a Recruiter, a Witness, Wave Rider, Scales of Shale. None of these cards really make sense with what we have, but we're definitely not married to our red cards, so we could look to be some other color combo. The only thing I know is I want to be white, but I don't care for Waxwing Witness necessarily. I think I'm going to speculate on the Wave Rider. I do like the blue-white deck when it's base rabbits, and I kind of love this card. I know it's not like the world's greatest card. It's a 6-drop, but when you play it and you recast a removal spell, it just feels so good. Now there's a Mousetrapper and a Crumb and Get It. I mean, Mousetrapper, if we're doing the Valiant thing, is okay, but so is Crumb and Get It, and I think Crumb and Get It is generally a slightly better card. It's also the cheaper card. Frogmite, yo, mythic rare. Alright, Thistledown Players is okay. Not really my favorite. Even in the Valiant deck, I think it's pretty medium, but it functions. So we wheeled the Provisioner from pack 1 and a Spark Shooter. Also Might of the Meek. I'll just take Might of the Meek. If we get deep into the Valiant, I think this card's pretty good. Being able to cycle and trigger Valiant is pretty strong. Grab a Whisker Quill Scribe. Definitely want 2 drops. As I predicted, a bunch of these mediocre red creatures wheeled. I think I'll take the Duo because it is a mouse and it triggers Valiant. Whereas the Rallier does trigger Valiant but is not a mouse himself. These also wheeled. I'll take the mouse that triggers Valiant. And last pick, Mind Spiral. Okay. Now we open a Rotten Mouth Viper. Well, this card's insane, but we're pretty deep into red-white at this point, and we didn't see any black pack 1. I think I'm going to take Blacksmith's Talent. This card is extremely powerful in the Valiant deck. Probably gonna only end up wheeling like guard mouse, but if we could wheel one of these rabbits, it would be sick. We did get like 6-pick rabbit elder pack last pack, and I mean there's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess there's only like 3 cards better than these two, so unlikely they will. We'll see though. Kind of sad to pass the Viper and get past another good black rare, though there's good red and white cards too, so it's not so bad. I want the Gecko, the Light, or the Feather of Flight. I mean, we're well set up to do Valiant, but we really only have the one payoff. So that could get kind of awkward. I'm going to put these blue cards in the sideboard. I do like how low our curve is, though. I think I'll take our like first good removal spell. Maybe as a blast, but getting some unconditional removal is nice here. This pack is a brick. I'm not a rare draft. I'm not putting a Kindle Spark Duo in this deck, so... Yeah, that was kind of disappointing to pass the 2 good black rares, but we saw no black in pack 1, and I don't think it was correct to move in. Now there's a Patchwork Banner, Banishing Light, and a Pathmaker. I think I like the banner. I want to build the deck to be pretty mouse heavy, and there's always like, you get to choose during the game, so sometimes you have your like Seasoned Warren Guard Intrepid Ravistar and you choose Rabbit, other times you choose Mice. It's always cute to look for like the crossover. It looks like we don't have that many crossover, but sometimes like Soldier or Warrior can actually work out pretty well. But yeah, I think Patchwork Banner is generally a pretty strong card if you can consistently enable it. So we have another Banishing Light, an Agate Assault, and a Life Creed Duo. I think Banishing Light slightly better than Agate Assault. Question is, do I want just this 2-drop? Doesn't have a ton of synergy. Nothing cares about gaining life right now. I think I'll grab another removal spell instead then. Mabel's Metal, Roughshod Duo, Veteran Guard Mouse. What are my combat tricks right now? Might of the Meek, Crumb and get it. Okay. I do like Mabel's Metal. I think it's a decent trick. These creatures are pretty filler. I think I'm going to grab the Mabel's Metal. We can just get so many filler creatures late in packs. Like this Raccoon Rallier, Teapot Slinger type stuff. Slinger I don't love. Doesn't have a ton of synergy in our deck. We're not the Lizard or the Raccoon deck. So I might just take the Rallier. Don't want Fountain Port Bell in this deck because we have 3 1-mana plays right now. So don't really want to spend turn 1 Fountain Port Belling a lot of the time. I could start filling out my playset of Artist Talent or grab a War Squeak. Don't think this deck wants Waxwine Witness. I'm just going to keep rare drafting. Kind of a late Polywallop. Although I guess whoever's playing green just doesn't think this card's good for some reason. We did wheel the Coruscation Mage and the Guard Mouse. Even though this has Valiant, I think I'm going to take this. Because this sort of, you can think about it like Valiant deal 2 damage in a way, if you have non-creature spells that target your guys. And it's a 2-drop is the main reason. Pick up another 2-drop here. This deck looks exceedingly average, but it does look like it's well suited to the best of 1 queue, which I like. Take the cheaper card. Okay. Open up a Builder's Talent. Is this good in our deck? I suspect no. Yeah, not really much synergy right now. So then our options are Carrot Cake or Take Out the Trash. I think our removal's good enough that I want the Carrot Cake. It works well with... Actually, I guess we don't have that much synergy with it. The Warren Guard. It's probably worth it. This also might wheel. Or, okay. I'm going to say we could take one this back. I think I'm going to grab another Intrepid Rabbit. There's basically no limit to how many of these I want, so... One of the red removal spells might wheel. The Rallier could wheel. Again, this deck looks super, super average, but I think it can win games despite that. We're already at 23 playables. Now we get faced with the Carrot Cake first Take Out the Trash conundrum again. There's now 3 of these going around. There's like a decent chance we get one back. I'm just going to keep taking the Carrot Cakes. So I really don't want to end up with like too much removal. Now there's a Intrepid Rabbit, Hop to It, Flame Cash Gecko, Agate Assault. I did say there was no limit to how many rabbits I wanted, but now I sort of want the Hop to It just to fill in a different spot on the curve since this is mostly a 4-drop. We're probably going to wheel something good out of this pack. Feels like red-white is open. Yeah, I mean, we're getting 5th pick Seedglaive Mentor here. Just the, you know, the proper payoffs haven't been opened, which happens sometimes in this format. Okay, I like Strike Force better than Guard Mouse, I think. See, we definitely have some cuts to make. Just look at like some of our more mediocre creature. This is not making the deck. So right now, I would probably play this with 17 lands. Let's see. We're actually a little heavier rabbit than mouse at this point. Yeah, I mean, we're getting a ton of red-white stuff. Just none of it's like that interesting. Shortbow is a repeated Valiant trigger, but we only have 2 Valiant creatures, and we have a million ways to trigger them. I don't think I want Life Creed Duo, though. Guess I'll take... Maybe... No, I'll take Mind the Meek. I don't know. Yeah, none of this is making the deck. I could go down to 16 lands and just play 2 Might of the Meek. Just ways to cycle. Maybe don't want this Mabel's Medal. Will the Playful Shove. That's probably not making it. We might not get any of the... Wow, late Shoreline Looter. I was going to say any of the Take Out the Trashes back, it looks like. But I can grab an Agate Assault here. I think 5 2-drops is fine. You can still play the Coruscation Mage if we really want another one. I just want to grab one more removal spell. Tangle Tumblers. Interesting. We have Intrepid Rabbit, Hop to It, 2 Carrot Cakes. Maybe. It's another Agate Assault. And Seedpot Squire is a playable in this deck, but I don't think it's going to make it. Ended up with not like my favorite red-white deck I've ever drafted, but I think it'll play pretty well. I don't think I want this Mabel's Medal. I like the cheaper combat tricks here. Not sure about this Bravekin Duo. It is a rabbit. It does trigger Valiant. I think I like the Warren Guard since we have the Carrot Cakes. Roughshot Duo is kind of average in this deck. I'm not sure about the Tangle Tumbler. Can also cut like 1 Agate Assault. There's a limit to how much interaction you want when you want to be making proactive plays. Alright, so these for sure are making it as ways to sort of enable our creatures to be better attackers. I think we're playing both Banishing Lights. I think they're slightly better than Agate Assault. I think we have enough mice to justify at least 1 Might of the Meek. Definitely going to play Crumb and Get It as my best combat trick. And I think we can get away with 16 lands in this deck as well, since we curve out at 4. So the question is, I think I'll keep this guy. I like that he's both a mouse for Might of the Meek and then also a rabbit if we put Patchwork Banner on either kind, and then he can also trigger the Valiant on these 2. Roughshot Duo, I think, can go. I want to try Tangle Tumbler. All right, how many ways? All right, Carrot Cake sort of auto does it because it makes 2 tokens, whether the food plus the rabbit or just the 2 rabbits. Hop to It, and then Intrepid Rabbit makes 1 token. Do we make any other tokens? Not really. Maybe that's too few ways. It also doesn't count for Forerunner because this is creature cards. I do want to have a lot of Forerunner hits. Alright, I think the Tumbler is not quite going to make it, unfortunately. So I think we'll just play it like this. The 5 removal spells. 3 combat tricks. 11 creatures plus the 2 carrot cakes and the hop to it. It's more like 14. Seems like a pretty solid little red-white deck. But I guess we'll find out. Playing against the Munchie Master. With a pretty atrocious hand. I'm going to mulligan. This hand's like almost already flooded. Doesn't have a 2-drop or 3-drop it can cast. This is worse. Don't think I can keep this either. I don't know. Can I? It's 50% to draw a land. And then it does function pretty well off 2 lands. So there's the Carrot Cake, the Scribe, the Might of the Meek. Thing is, what is our win? So like, all right, let's say we hit the land right away. 50% chance. 50% we automatically lose. So we got to keep that in mind. If this hand immediately hits Mountain specifically, what's his chance of winning? We'll say 60%. Like, it's a pretty decent hand, even on 6. Versus mulliganing to 5. I think I'll go to 5. It's pretty close though. This is a pretty good 5. I'll put back certainly 1 mountain. I think 2. Actually, Warren Guard just doesn't. You don't have any way to enable it, and spending a card to make a 1/2 when you're on a mulligan seems bad. So we'll keep our more powerful cards. This is our ticket. Our golden ticket to winning this game. If we can get this landed with a few triggers, we actually have a shot. But against a black deck, we're going to have to beat out a lot of removal first, most likely. Thinking. About what? I'm not sure. Maybe he's working on his munchies right now. Pass. Feels like there might be a saver in our future, but we're just going to attack. No priority, so it doesn't seem like they have anything. I'm not going to Banishing Light my own Whisker Quill Scribes. I'll just pass. Can Banishing Light your own Forerunner for a trigger if you're really desperate. Wouldn't recommend it, but you could. My guy playing in slow motion over here. Dagger Fang Duo, that's fine. Now, am I going to Banishing Light the Duo, or am I just going to jam the Forerunner and hope he doesn't have removal? Thing is, I don't even have a way to trigger this Valiant yet. And the black-white deck surely has a way to kill it, so I think I'll wait. And then depending on what I draw, I'll think about Banishing Lighting this. My opponent is deep in the tank as to whether or not to mill 2 cards here. This is an existential decision right now. Declined. Okay, so I drew a Seedglaive Mentor. If I play it in attack, he is just going to block and trade, which I don't think favors me. So I think I will go for the Banishing Light on the Duo and attack for 2. Oh, this only targets permanents and opponent's control, so forget everything I said about targeting your own creatures. That doesn't work. Thornplate. I will choose to lose 3 life. I definitely cannot afford to discard a card or lose a permanent. I draw another removal spell. Okay, I mean, I could just kill the Intimidator and keep attacking. I think that's fine. I just need to draw a way to trigger Valiant, and then I'm in business here. It's not like amazing to just trade 1-for-1 repeatedly when your opponent didn't mulligan to 5, but what can you do? That is a way to trigger Valiant. Okay, I think I will play the Seedglaive and then attack. If he wants to trade with the duo, that's fine. It's just going to take it. And then next turn, if I draw plains, I can do Forerunner and then protect it with Crumb and Get It, which is pretty good. If they don't have anything like game breaking here, we have a chance. We'll have to see. Star Charter's fine. And a Saver or Fell, okay. And I'll take 3. I'm getting killed in the air pretty fast here. It's a 2-turn clock after this. Fortunately, all I draw is a Raccoon Rallier. I'm gonna attack for 2. Play my Rallier. Probably just gonna die in the air, but next turn I can Forerunner, haste it. See how that goes. And this game has been somewhat close, given the circumstances. Alright, take 6. Draw. Land. Sorry, we need to hit like Shrike Force or something that has something that has flying or reach. Otherwise we're gonna die to this. Nonsense. I don't think there's any way we can kill him. We're only attacking for 5-7 with a Crumb and Get It. Maybe if this hits... Yeah, I don't think there's anything in our deck that gets there, unfortunately. I'm gonna target it. Yeah, Intrepid Rabbit doesn't quite do it. Yeah, having to give him a food means it's just not going to die here. Yeah, unfortunate. Feels like there was maybe a chance this game, but just didn't quite get there. Well, this is an improvement because I can actually keep my opening 7. It's not spectacular, but better than 5. Plains and a play. Flowerfoot Swordmaster is a 1/2. Interesting. I'll lead on Whisker Quill Scribe. Yeah, it blocks well here. The Carrot Cake tokens just don't feel that good into a 1/2. Out of a green white deck. Okay. And then pass. Sure. Let's go land. Attack for 2. And then, do I want a Carrot Cake or do I want to blast something? Well, this Swordmaster, but I could also hold it for his turn 3 play, potentially. I'm just going to do something proactive. There's a chance he just doesn't have anything relevant. That's going to go to the bottom. Don't need a 5th land here. I can always loot away the Blooming Blast or Rummage. Alright, he had a second Swordmaster. I guess that's why he played this one on turn 1. I'll take my 1 damage. Draw a land, so yeah, I'll go Intrepid Rabbit for 4. Trigger on the Scribe. Rummage the Mountain. Put the second trigger on the Rabbit so it can attack here. I'll attack for 5. He's going to double block the Rabbit token. Interesting. I'm very happy to trade a Rabbit token for a Swordmaster. I'll leave the token behind since it's just a 1/1. There are like some synergies in green-white for having tokens out, so there's an argument to killing the token. Flame Cash Gecko. Okay. So I could start by attacking and then plan on using this Crumb and Get It to win the combat. Alternatively, I could just use an Agate Assault right now. So if I Agate Assault Thistle down right now, attack with these two. It's not terrible. I think I like that. I can let this happen, or I can use my Crumb and Get It to win the combat. I think I'll just let this happen. I don't think using a Crumb and Get It to take out the 1/1 token and save my 2/2 is worth it. We can do slightly better. And we have a backup Rummager with the Flame Cash Gecko. 3 mana Druid of Spade. So, like I said, there is a reason to remove the token. In this case, it's Druid of Spade, which is now kind of a big creature I can't deal with that well. Patchwork Banner's a good draw. We'll play that and name Rabbit here. I'm going to attack with both of them. If he wants to block the Rabbit token, I'll use the Crumb and Get It to win the combat and save my guy. Down to 8. This Blooming Blast now is getting close to killing him with the 3 damage mode. You don't need to kill anything with this. You just need a target. You can even... Oh no, you have to target one of their creatures because it's the creature's controller. But as long as they have a creature you can legally target, this will deal 3 to them. 6 mana, so if this isn't Galewind Moose, then I don't know what it is, but I can use the Rabbit to trade for the Moose plus the Blast, which is basically my only way through such a thing right now, so I'm just going to attack with the Intrepid Rabbit. If it's not Moose, then I suppose I did miss the 2 damage. That's okay, though. Just felt like it had to be Galewind Moose, like you got 3 cards, you didn't play anything. Very strange. I'm going to loot the mountain away. Draw Seaglaive Mentor, that'll be pretty good. I'll just pass with the Blast and the Carrot Cake up. I'm going to crack the food up to 7. Seasoned Warguard has a 1/2. I'm going to make it a 2/3, okay. Should I blast it in response? I guess. They didn't show any way to use the mana last turn. So giving them a treasure doesn't feel that bad. And it should set up a lethal attack here. So the Mentor. Combat. Attack with everything. Alright. Good game. Nice bounce back after the rough game 1. Alright, on the play. Decent hand. I will keep it. Gecko, no value, but that's okay. Maybe we'll draw a better 2-drop in the meantime. We'll see. Might of the Meek. Yep, I'll just play the Gecko as a 2/2 here. Okay, that's nice. They play a creature we can kill. Or I could leave it and just play Patchwork Banner. I think that's fine. lets me get my Intrepid Rabbit out. I'm going to name Rabbit, even though I have a lizard in play. Attack for 2. Sago. Alright, there's a Moonstone Harbinger. He's going to get the trigger and the other trigger, attack me for 2. That's all fine, though. Draw. Crumb and get it. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll just go for the rabbit play. If he wants to trade the Harbinger for the Gecko, I'd be pretty pleased with that. Also, we're adding 6/5 worth of stats to the board, which is pretty good. Okay, Star Charter, a little annoying. It's going to get to draw a card. Attack me for 4. Okay, I don't mind trying to race because my hand is very well set up to race, and they whiffed on the Charter, which is always cool when that happens. Do I want to give them a treasure? This is like really close because obviously they do have ways to use the mana, but 3 damage is also a lot. Right now I'm attacking for 8. They'd put them to 8. I could just also not use a trick on it and just see if they want to block. Like my Intrepid Rabbit, and I could crumb and get it. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to go to combat. Turn them sideways. So I'm going to go crumb and get it. Well, actually, let's start Might of the Meek, because this gives trample and lets me draw a card. Draw hop to it. Okay, so then what I'm going to do... No, I'm going to crumb and get it. No food. So we win the combat. We still deal 10 damage. And then post-combat I get to hop to it, make 3 2/2s. And I still have both my removal spells. Yeah, that is not going to save you. It does gain you a life, though. Bone bind. Alright, we should have lethal here. Can't imagine they're going to attack, though. Okay. No fear, no fear. I respect it. Yeah, so we'll assault the Harbinger. Alright, good game. That was, I think, a classic case of misidentifying who was the beatdown. I think if they'd played maybe a more defensive game, like the Harbinger is a good blocker and not a particularly impressive attacker. I don't think turning it sideways all those turns was correct. Because they definitely had inevitability against my deck. You know, if the game goes 15 turns, they're very, very likely to win. Alright, on the draw, decent hand. Keep it. Our opponent has a 1-drop. No? Okay. Whatever it was, they chose not to do it. Do I want to lean on Warren Guard or Bravekin Duo? Oh, server's going down. Okay, not sure what is going on with Magic Arena servers, but we're back in the game. They have a Nettle Guard. Or we draw the natural predator of the Nettle Guard, the Carrot Cake. It's kind of awkward, because once I play the Carrot Cake, they're going to be inclined to make this trade, but I think that's fine. Still worth playing pre-combat here. Raccoon Rallier. I think we can do better than that. We already have ways to trigger Valiant. And nothing but really worth triggering, so. I imagine they're going to take the trade? No, okay. I don't mind that, though. We have a bunch of 1/1 tokens that are just going to sit here and wall this. Innkeeper's Talent. Okay. That card is always an issue. They can't level it up right away, though. That's why they didn't want to trade, though. They get to attack me for 4. Take the 4. We're going to have to race somehow this game. It's going to definitely be tough. Play land. Combat. Attack. I'm going to go Bravekin Duo. And Whisker Quill Scribe. Rather than cracking the carrot cake, we just need to put as much power on the board as quickly as possible. This is a 2-2, as opposed to making a 1-1. We're going to hit for 5 this turn, down to 11. Oh, and they have a Swordmaster. Yikes. Okay. That's going to hurt next turn. And this is a mouse too, so yikes. Alright, well they choose to target this, because I guess otherwise I wouldn't have attacked that well either. So I'll take my 5, go to 11. Like I said, not sure how we're going to win this game. But we are going to try. Start with Intrepid Rabbit here. We will buff the Bravekin duo and the Scribe, I suppose. Yeah, well I do want to rummage, so I'm always buffing here. And then I'll buff the Bravekin duo. Attack for 8. I mean, we're doing not bad. It's probably too late to banish and light the talent. It's not what this game's about, but this is a good draw. Removing a blocker, and then we can give trample with this. We have 2 mice out, so pretty likely to be able to get the +1/+0 as well. I don't know. I don't know about this game. If we were on the play, I think this game would be easy. They take all of it, okay. But we were on the draw, so it took us a second to get there. And we have blockers. There are 3 blockers here. Can chump with the rabbit tokens. I think Patchwork Banner would be an excellent draw here. It's probably our best card. Seedglaive Mentor would be okay too. Banish Light basically always has to be used on the Nettle Guard, because if you use it on anything else, they just sack the Nettle Guard and get their thing back. That's okay since it's their biggest creature anyways. It's what we'd want to use it on. They're going to tap white for a second Nettle Guard. Okay. Alright. And then what? They can level up their talent. They're not going to do it. At least not pre-combat. They're really thinking about this. They could, like, if they have Overprotect, I'll probably die here. Not sure I can. Because, like, I'm at effectively 8 life, and they're attacking me for 11. So if I block with everything, I wouldn't die to an Overprotect. But then if they don't have Overprotect, then I'm in a worse spot than I otherwise would be. So right now I can just jump with a rabbit, and then I'll be fine. It's actually interesting. Do I even jump? So let's say I take 6, untap, attack with everything. He has 3 blockers, so I don't have lethal even if I jump. Well, maybe I do because of the trample. I think I'm just going to take 6. I can't really think of anything for green that just kills me here. Maybe I'll eat my words, but I think I can afford to take it. Alright, down to 5. What you got? Pass. Okay. Okay, I'm going to attempt to Banishing Light their Nettle Guard, I think. Yeah, let's try this. I'm going to target the untapped one here. Not that it makes a huge difference, but it forces them to actually make a play with their other Nettle Guard. And then I'm going to go to combat and turn them all sideways, I think. Just going to go for lethal. Right now this is lethal with the 4 creatures. And then we also have this Might and Meek give +1/+0 and trample on one of the blocked creatures. Okay, they're going to high stride their Nettle Guard. Sure. Block Warren Guard. Block Rabbit. So I'll give this the +1/+0 and trample and deal exactly 5 damage unless they have a second high stride. They're thinking about it. I mean, if they have the high stride, they win. If they don't, they lose. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To damage. Good game. Can't believe I can't emote because I had to reconnect. Can't believe we got away with that one, but I'll take it. Three and 1. Nice bounce back from our tough start. The deck has performed admirably since then. All right, looks like we are going to mulligan as well here. Keep this. Interesting what we put back. Maybe the Whisker Quill Scribe, since we have a 2-drop that rummages. I think the Gecko is generally a little better as a repeated rummager. Could put back a land, but I think that's kind of greedy. All right, I'm going to get greedy. Can't stop me. We're on the draw. We only need one more land, and then we can cast every single spell in our deck. I'm going to immediately regret it, I can tell. Just draw our most expensive card. Bandit's Talent. Alright, I'll get rid of one of these 2-drops. Like I said, I think the Scribe's slightly worse, so... Yep, wish I had a land. I don't know, I shouldn't have said anything. Like, the Magic Gods can hear you when you say dumb shit like, oh, surely I'll draw the 3rd land, right? Land. Yeah, I don't know, I deserve it, right? I'm gonna loot the Strike Force, try to hit our land drop here. Okay. It's 1 turn late, which is probably gonna be pretty rough for us to deal with, but depends. They're not like doing anything crazy over here. Alright, the Warlock's pretty annoying. Sort of hoping this Forerunner would stick. I mean, it might take something else. Probably taking the Forerunner, though. Yep. And level up the talent. Okay. Now we're drawing plenty of lands. Don't worry. We'll manage to go from Screw to Flood. 0 to 60. It's going to be sick. Play the Rabbit, since I don't have anything left to Valiant. Buff up the Gecko. Attack for 4. Say go. Next turn, Banner on Rabbit, probably. I'll block here. Take 2. Strike Force, okay. Pass. Interesting. Maybe I just Banishing Light the Strike Force then. Because I might want to end up putting this on Mouse. And this game would have been a lot easier if I just kept that 3rd land. Yeah, they're going to level up the talent, which for now doesn't do anything, so I'm not really that concerned. Draw a Blooming Blast. I'll do that. Do I give him a treasure? Yeah, YOLO. Give me that 3 damage, baby. Down to 7. Yep, Banis Talent. It's always weird, like this thing triggers and you're like, wait, what? And then it's like, oh, it's not doing anything. Because I guess it's checking each opponent. Classic commander design ruining my beloved. Wow, I gave him a treasure and then he has a Bellowing Crier because he didn't have blue mana. Instantly punished. Of course they're splashing for like some terrible garbage. Discard Swamp, play Waxwind Witness. Okay, that's tough. I can't really beat those things. I get Assault. Oh, maybe I can. Alright, I do not want to trade the Gecko, so I will just attack for 1. They're gonna block. Okay, fine. This is such a scrappy game, dude. Banis Talent does not do anything. What you got? Blue cards? Is that your whole hand? Blue cards and black-white lands. That's what I want to see. Nocturnal Hunger with a food gift. That's kind. Kind gesture. So I immediately draw a land that I'd like to loot away. I think in the blind, I'm going to just name Rabbit here. I could hold it, but I want to be able to cast a spell right away. I'm going to hold on to this Plains, obviously, because of Bandit's Talent. Best draw would probably be Seaglaive Mentor, Jackdaw Savior. Does have a Bellowing Cry to get back, which is kind of annoying. It's also a pretty fast clock. Hop to it, actually. New best draw just dropped. I didn't even think about this, to be honest. 3 2/2s is pretty good, though. This wouldn't happen to give haste. No. Okay. Pass. Banis Talent really thinks he's doing something. Activating each upkeep. Combat. No attacks. Pass. I'll just crack the food. I don't have any way to use it in my deck. Seasoned Warren Guard. Not a bad draw. I guess it's fine to make this trade happen. I get back their Bellowing Crier. Which does let them loot. So maybe I shouldn't have done that. But I need to get them dead at some point, because I'm sure they actually have decent cards somewhere in their deck. Dazzling Denial. Maybe not. Maybe I'm totally off base on that one. This is a 4/3 though, which is pretty good. We can give it Trample. Bloomburrow Mentor. Yeah, I mean, that card's decent. See, are they dead though? It's a 3/2. So attack here. You imagine they block. That should be lethal. So they're going to block Crier on Warren Guard. Bloomburrow on a 2/2. Give this Trample. Oh, well, now it's super lethal. Okay, cool. Somehow beat Esper nonsense despite our terrible decision to put back the 3rd land drop that we so badly needed. Might of the Meek giving Trample now. Super relevant for multiple games. Gotta flex on them. Chrome and get okay, they're done. Up against Dizzy. On the draw. Decent hand, though. Turn 2 Rallier. Might run out the turn 3 Rabbit. We'll see. And we have Forerunner. This is a nice little combo, because you get to play it and then immediately get value. And we added a turn 1 Talent. So now our curve is like decided for us. Turn 1 Talent. Turn 2 Rallier. Turn 3 Level. Turn 4 Forerunner. Get a Valiant trigger. And turn 5 Rabbit. Get some more triggers. Very nice. Love when the game plays itself. Okay, they're going to destroy target enchantment. That was rude. But instead, now on turn 3, I can equip the sword and play Bravekin Duo, which is fine too. Brambleguard Veteran. It's annoying I can't attack through that. Alright, they are foiling my plans currently, but we still have our main plan is Whiskervale. They're also on mono green, which I suspect means they're missing mountains. given the Brambleguard veteran that we've seen. Longstock Brawl with a fish, okay. That is my automatic Valiant trigger gone. So like maybe I should hold the Forerunner. Yeah, I think so, because I need to get value from it to be able to win this game probably. So for this turn, I'm just going to go for the Forerunner, or sorry, the Rabbit, and the next turn Forerunner land, and use the Bravekin Duo to trigger it right away. Alright, so they leave the Brambleguard back on defense. So I'm going to go for this play here. Trigger. Missed. Darn. Sego. Okay, if they have a removal spell for my Forerunner, I'm back in the losers bracket. But it seems like they're mana screwed still, so that's good. Yeah, we'll do this again. This time we hit a Whisker Quill Scribe. That's nice. So yeah, I will play out our Intrepid Rabbit so we can get some good attacks in here. So yeah, I guess I'll put one buff on the Forerunner and then one buff on the Scribe just to rummage. Alright, he's off of it. Yeah, it does suck to get mana screwed, but I would just be better personally. All right, game number 7 here, 5-1. All right, up against Dragon Knight 82. We have a pretty nice little hand here. Again, a curve that sort of resolves itself. Turn 1 talent, turn 2 carrot cake, turn 3 hop to it. Although we might want to level the talent so that when we play Forerunner, we get the auto equip and instant trigger. Depends a little bit what we see these first few turns. Island, go. So they might have Long Reverse Bowl, which would be fine. Because to counter the carrot cake, they'd need to gift us a fish. So we're going to let this resolve. Oh, Intrepid Rabbit, perfect. Love to see that. And before you say, oh, you got a perfect curve again, you're so lucky. Notice I'm on the draw, so not really even that lucky. Interesting question here. Should I level up or should I hop to it? I think I'll level up. I just want to be able to Forerunner next turn. It feels like they have a counter spell. Specifically Long Reverse Pull, but they didn't want to counter Carrot Cake because gifting, or it's not a fish, it's a card. Gifting a card to counter a Carrot Cake feels really bad in that situation. So I'm hoping they tap out for some mediocre 4-drop here. Brambleguard Veteran does count as doing so. So now I get to go land, Forerunner, and move the sword. Now we have the full rabbit set up as well. Trigger, oh, and a Intrepid Rabbit, sure. It doesn't really do anything extra here. But whatever. It is just a free 3-2, which is pretty good. Next turn we can go Banner on Rabbit and play Hop to it. Following Crier is fine. Bitch a land. And they don't have a way to kill my Forerunner, it seems, so we are getting more value, ladies and gentlemen. Our Whisker Quill Scribe, okay. I'm going to try this Patchwork Banner here pre-combat. See if they decide to counter it or not. They do have to gift me a card. It is probably worth countering, even without knowing about these two. There's the Long Reverse Pull with the gift. I will accept the gift, thank you. Okay, so I'll just go to combat then. Re-equip here. Put in a Strike Force. That seems pretty good. Not going to attack. And we'll just pass. Use the Carrot Cake. Don't want to overextend. Although blue-green doesn't really have board wipes, so would have been reasonable to also play the Scribe. I like scrying though. Now we have just a lot of ways to deal with anything that he could play. Like a random moose gets banishing. Dream Druid Chancer, that is pretty good. Presumably gonna stun. I think stunning the Forerunner barely helps, so yeah, stun your own creature makes some sense here. Doesn't have any good attacks. We will sack the Carrot Cake. Trigger, Scry, Agate Assault. That looks good. I will keep that. So yeah, let's just go kill the Dream Drew before he can get any like crazy value out of that. I'm going to keep equipping the Forerunner. Even though it doesn't get to attack, just putting in free creatures. Well, now we can actually attack with it because we can put in an Intrepid Rabbit, make it a 5/6 so it does not get double blocked. And we're going to attack for 7. Yeah, putting in a free 3-drop every turn is just so good. Especially when you can still attack anyways. And we'll add the Whisker Quill Scribe. This card is hard to read if you have severe speech impediments. Waterspell Warden. Yeah, that's not really going to cut it. Looks like he finally found a way to kill my Forerunner at least. But now we can like get to talenting. We have a Strike Force. I'll just take 4. I mean, Carrot Cake, sure. I can also just Banishing Light the Brambleguard Veteran and go to town. I think that works too. Put this on Strike Force. Attack. So if he blocks a pair of 3/2s, he takes 9. Loses pretty much all his board. Yeah, this game's pretty over. Whatever. We'll keep it. 8 mana. Oh, that saves you, actually. Alright, 6-1. Let's keep it rolling. Alright, on the play, decent hand. It's a little slow, but I have a hard time mulliganing it. Really want a Carrot Cake off the top. That would be ideal. Our opponent has maybe a 1-drop. Another Intrepid Rabbit. Probably going to run one out on turn 3 now. Well, it doesn't feel great. Okay, attack for 1. Say go. Is this Might of the Meek cycle? It is, okay. Free trample. Get scammed. Alright, they're on the blue-red deck. Shoreline Looter, that actually, I think I'm going to do is just Banishing Light that, because that card is very problematic. And that way I don't have to play Intrepid Rabbit for no value. Next turn, I get to attack for 7? No, wait, 5? I don't know why I thought 7. Yeah, attack for 5, which is pretty good, and all they played was a Divination, so we're flooding out a little bit. So we could just lose if we just keep drawing lands and they kill our creatures. But in lieu of that, I feel we're pretty, I don't want to say far ahead. We're doing pretty well, though. Also, Wildfire Howl is like a real threat out of this kind of deck. And our deck does fold to Wildfire Howl pretty badly, especially with this kind of draw. Red. Is this like Sazakap's Brew trying to hit land drops? Surely you have a land with 8 cards in hand, right? Okay, you do have a land. And what else? Must be nice to have options and decisions to make. I just have 1 card I can cast. My turn's going to take 0.5 milliseconds. There is the Sazakap's Brew, pitching another land. Okay. Still got 7 cards over there. Gonna kill my rabbit? Yes. Okay. So we lose a little bit of the pressure, but I did draw a spell, which is cool. And we get to attack for another 6 damage this turn. This Warren Guard has done, what, like 13 damage by itself? It's pretty crazy. Or 12, maybe? I think this is the first damage that's been chipped in by something else. Might of the Meek to draw a card. It's been very kind, giving all my creatures trample. Play a blocker. Play a blocker. Light Shell Duo would be ideal. No, do not kill my creature. Alright, well, we're still attacking for 5. Draw land, okay. This is going to be a scrappy finish. Say go. Spell would have been killer there, but it's fine. I didn't want one anyways. Play a 6-drop. Mind Whisker. Okay, well, we have a Banishing Light, so it's not the end of the world, and an Agate Assault. So that's game. We have exactly 2 damage. We did also draw the Blacksmith's Talent, but we got there with basically casting 4 spells, or 5. 2 Rabbits, a Warren Guard, and 2 Banishing Lights. Alright, can't say that was the most skill-intensive deck I've ever played, but it was fun, and felt perfect for the best of 1Q. Just really aggressive curve. Win die rolls. We didn't win that many die rolls, but we did curve out pretty well, minus the one game we mulled to 5, which is the one game we lost. And yep, thank you for watching this Bloomburrow draft, and I'll see you in the next one.